and I can also hold multiple and move multiple up here as well. So anytime you have your own list view filters, you also have flexibility to create your own columns and so forth, and putting things in an order that makes more sense to you. And here we can see that that sales consultant is Jimmy or Lee, and there's no others there. The other thing that you can do in these list views as well is if you had, a longer column with more information, and actually let me show you one. So I'm going to delete this list view. I don't need it anymore. But I want to show you one more thing that's new in these list views. So notice that we have some contract notes here, and the contract notes field is quite a detailed column or field. What I can do is, rather than having to expand the field really wide to see a lot of information, I can click on the drop-down arrow and choose to wrap the text rather than clipping it. And if I choose wrap text, you'll notice that it's wrapping over a couple of lines, and that allows me to see more information without having to have the column too wide. So that's a new feature in Lightning. So the option to wrap or clip the text. Any questions on those list views before I move on?
Oh, good.
Okay, so I'm going to select one of the records. And this is what the detail page of a sale record looks like. So we have buttons along the top in the right-hand side here. And we have this section here that's called the highlights panel. The highlights panel is giving you key information, so some key fields to save you having to scroll down the page to find that information. Then the next part down here is this path. So you'll see that a sale can go from reserved to contract signed to unconditional. And you can see that down here. So the path is just giving you a pictorial way of viewing what stage or what status the sale is up to. And then just below we have that status detail. You'll notice that the page does look a bit different to Classic. It is a lot cleaner looking. We do have the same information though. So we have the Details tab. The Details tab is everything you used to see at the top of the page in Classic. So all of your key fields broken down by section. So the fields are the same, they should be in the same order, and the sections are the same. Now, if there's sections that you don't use for your role, you can collapse them, and they will remain collapsed. So that way, when you're scrolling, you'll only see the sections you're used to. Now, you mentioned that you do use a shared account. So obviously, anyone that clicks on those and collapses them, it's going to remain collapsed for the next person that logs in with that user because it is based on login preference. So if you see some of the sections collapsed, don't fear, someone's collapsed it. You just need to click it to expand it. There's two ways of editing this record. The first way is clicking on the edit button in the top right-hand corner. And it's going to open up the form in this window. Anything with a red asterisk is required. Previously it was a red line on the field, and you can just click on the drop downs, check boxes and so forth, and make your selection as you normally do. Otherwise, an easier way I find is clicking on these pencil icons. So previously in Classic, you'd have to double click each field you wanted to update. Now it's a matter of clicking a pencil icon and the whole form becomes editable. So I can make changes right here, and what you'll notice is each of the fields turn yellow to indicate that a change has been made. You can undo a change by clicking the undo arrow, and then you can save everything that you've made, the changes, or you can cancel. And I'm going to click cancel because this is a live record. So there's two ways of editing. Next over is this related tab. Now, everything that's on this tab is exactly the same that's on the side here. Previously, the related tab used to be the hyperlinks that you used to see at the top of the record that you used to be able to hover over to see information. or you could click on them to jump down to the bottom of the page. So here you're seeing notes and attachments, sales-related expenses, the status history. So over here, they're like little tiles, and over here, it's a list view. So depending on how you want to see the information, you can view it on the left-hand or the right-hand side. Obviously, when you see a 3+ or a 10+, anytime you see a plus, there's more to see. So you can click on view all to see a whole page of that information. Do you create sales-related expenses?
Not for now.
No. Okay. And then you said no to creating tasks or activities, but if you wanted to view the customer journey, any tasks or sits or anything that any interactions that had occurred with the client would appear here in a timeline of the order that they happened. So good for you to understand that and to be able to view that. If this was a sale record that I've been working on, for a week or so, I can add it as my favorite here by clicking the star icon. You'll notice it turns blue, and if I click the drop down, there it is, easy access to get to it. I can remove it by clicking edit favorites and editing the ones that are here, or I can just click the icon again and it will be removed from my favorites list. So that's a nice bookmarking feature. Okay, so let me talk about searching. So in the global search at the top, if I click in here, you'll see recent items that you've accessed. Again, Salesforce is trying to push to you the things that are most important or what it thinks that you want to access. But if I want to start typing anyway, as I type, it's going to give me some potential results. I can either select one of these or I can press enter to run the search. And when I run the search, similar to Classic, it's bundled into those sections. And down the left-hand side, I can see how many of each. If I want to view all of them, because by default, I'll only see 5, I can click on View More here on the right-hand side. Now, a nice feature is once you've clicked on View More, and you can see there's 50+, and if I keep scrolling down, there's quite a few. What I can do is further refine this search. So depending on the section I've selected, I'll have different fields below here. So if there's a particular contract name I'm looking for, if there's a sales consultant, if there's a type of property or construction, or I can even do it based on price. So if I want to say maximum price of $410,000, I can click on search, and it's further refining my search. I can continue to refine based on the fields that are here. If I want to refine it by branch, I can do that as well. And it's further refining that list. So a really nice search feature. Any questions there?
All good.
All good.
Okay. Could I ask, do you guys merge duplicate prospects?
No.
No. Okay. So just want to keep the training targeted on the things that you do.
Yeah. So sorry. So just with we normally use this to filter up doing reports, and we don't really kind of edit at the moment, but we'll just use this as a kind of a reporting.
Just to view data.
That's right. Yeah.
But do you create Iron Fish staff contacts? Any new employees that join your team? Are either of you responsible for doing that?
Yeah, not at this stage, I think.
No, actually, we do. Our office manager actually does that. Sandra does that. Usually, she deals with the head office.
Okay. And has she had training already?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't think so.
No, she hasn't, Justin. And that was, I do have, does she speak Mandarin?
She does speak Mandarin, yes.
Yeah, because I have a training video that I can forward to you. But alternatively, what I can do is just jump on the phone and show her. It would be about 15 minutes just to show her how to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. What I'll do is I'll send you her details a bit later after this training.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
and
maybe you can just show the guys so that if Sandra has any questions in the meantime, yeah.
we do have a quick reference card that steps you through it as well. So let's have a look. So the way that she would do it is look for the Ironfish. And what's your branch? Is it the Melbourne CBD branch?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
She would look for that, and I would recommend that she then mark that as her favourite, so she doesn't always have to search for it. It will always be listed as a favourite. And then you would go to the related tab, and under contacts, you would click new. And it's a matter of her finding that, because then the steps from here are exactly the same. So it's selecting Ironfish contact, clicking next. She would be completing exactly the same fields that she's used to completing, and very important towards the bottom are the system access fields. So once she selects all of the access to the different systems, an email is going to be sent to IT request to provision that access. So these fields are exactly the same. It's just a matter of finding the Ironfish Melbourne account, clicking related, and clicking new on contacts, and from there she should know what to do because the steps are the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so finally, just reports. So currently, do you create your own reports, or are you just viewing existing ones that are there? Or
Viewing,
not viewing them at all?
yeah, viewing it, the existing one.
Okay. So to do that, just clicking on the reports tab, you can see that it's showing you recent reports to start off with. You can look at all reports here,